Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Okay, today our group, which is number 3, will present about the revolution. Basically, it's about the American Revolution. So, I will introduce our group members, but before that, I will introduce myself first. Okay, my name is Norafika, and I will be a first presenter of this group. Okay, for the second presenter is Brother Muhammad Fikri, and while the third presenter is Brother Mas Amirul, and the last presenter is Sister Siti Aisyah. So, without further ado, let's get started. As you can see here, the American Revolution is starting from the 1775 and 1783, and it is also known as the United States War of Independence or American Revolutionary War, and it is where the 13th of the Great Britain's North American colonies won their political independence. Then they formed into the United States of America. Okay, next we move to table of contents. Okay, this is our content will be present later. Okay, so here we have the timeline of the American revolutions. We will highlight the events happens during the revolutions, and then the short brief about the beginning of revolution. So, and I will explain more about the original 13 colonies, the sense of liberty, and how the beginning, the causes of the revolutions. So next, we move to the causes of revolutions. So here, there's many causes that lead to the revolution itself. Then the aftermath, which is the consequences after they got the independence. Okay, this is the timeline American revolutions. As you can see, this is causes that leads to the revolution itself. Okay, starting from the French and Indian War, which is known as 7 Years' War. Yeah, and then until the Battle of Lexington and Concord. After that, they got the Declaration of Independence, but they also have the Battle of Saratoga, Battle of Yorktown, until the Treaty of Paris, which is these remarks of the end of the war on 1783. I will explain a short brief about the original 13 colonies. What is a colony? Colonies is a region of land that is under the political control of another country. Okay, these colonies are divided into 3 regions that include the New England colonies, Middle colonies, and the Southern colonies. And these 13 colonies were together that shaped the United States. As you can see here, this is the 13 colonies here. We have the South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, and etc. Next, the original 13 colonies we divided, like I said before, divided into the 3, which is the New England colonies, Middle colonies, and the Southern colonies. So we have 4 states here from the New England colonies, and then the 4 states also from the Middle colonies, and then we have the 5 states that represent the Southern colonies here. Next, we move on to sense of liberty, which is known as a patriot. Okay, what is the patriot? There's a secret political organization in American colonies that protested against the British about the taxes and law before the American Revolution itself. Okay, first they call themselves as the Loyal Nine because they consist of 9 members. However, when the group grew, they known as the Sons of Liberty. How they got a group's name? So basically, this is from a speech by the Irishman, which is known as Isaac Pear. He refers to the American colonies in his speech as the Sons of Liberty when he arguing against the passage of the Stamp Act. So how these secret groups meet? They had informal greetings at a local tavern such as the Green Dragon Tavern in Boston, while the formal meeting during at night. Why they had during the night? Because when the British know about this secret political organization, they will capture and then they will be punished. Here is the members of the Sons of Liberty itself. Okay, as you can see here, they have the Samuel Adams, John Adams, Benedict Arnold, Patrick Henry, and etc. The first action of this group is during the Stamp Act. Okay, you will be known better when my other members will explain more after this. Moving on to the beginning causes of the revolution. Okay, the British came and landed to the Central America and then they conquered the New World, which is the United States nowadays. And then after the couple of centuries of warring with the natives each other, the European powers had claimed quite a lot of land, and this is included the area both English and the French claims as theirs. So this is a screenshots from the oversimplified videos. Okay, this is the land where they are start argue, and yeah, it's become war between France and the British itself because of this land. To sum up, British sent the British Lieutenant Colonel George Washington with a combine of the Native America at the time um, to against the French, and the British won. However, even they have won, they had spent a lot of money during the war, and they start to bring broke. They doesn't have money. Then to cover the cost, they started to introduce the taxes. So that's how the taxes were introduced, like the Sugar Act, like Stamp Act, etc. And this leads to Revolutionary War. So next is the causes of Revolutionary War. Okay, this will explain by Brother Fikri. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I would like to present about the causes of a Revolutionary War in America. Okay, so this is first causes about the why happened the revolution. Okay, first, French and Indian War 1950s, 1756 to 1763. This war happened between Britain and France. This war also known as the Second Hundred Years' War. Okay, why this war was happened? Okay, this is the causes. Okay, so basically the expansion of France into Ohio River and then British colonies claim that it is claim over it, and especially in Virginia. So you can see the map I put. Okay, so you can see the Ohio River. So there in front of the Ohio was the West Virginia. Okay, there is the place where the war happened. Okay, then I also give you a video, so that a short video, so that you can more understand about the histories of France and Indian War just in 3 minutes. Okay, so then we proceed to okay. So basically, the second point why the revolution of American start was because the Sugar Act 1764. Okay, Sugar Act was established to sustain British colonial expenditure. Okay, expansion. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, because of what? Because of firstly, during this time, uh, the colonial power was started to have their colonial place. Okay, so they need to have money to send their army, send their ship over that place. Then I would like to go to second point, which is British legislation aimed at ending the smuggled trade in sugar and molasses from the French and Dutch West Indies and at providing increased revenue to fund enlarged British Empire responsibility following the French and Indian War. Okay, then the third point was also known as Plantation Act and Revenue Act. This act also known as Plantation Act and Revenues Act. Okay. The fourth one is, as for this, Parliament has the right to determine what will they trade for their empire. So I will proceed. Okay. Then why it's happened? Okay. The result for this act provides strong custom enforcement of the duties on refined sugar and molasses imported into the colonies from non-British Caribbean sources. Protest has been received from America against the enforcement of the Molasses Act, together with a plea that the duty be set at 1 penny per gallon. Next point is, although warning were issued that the traffic could be no more than that, the government of Prime Minister George Grenville refused to listen and placed a 3 penny duty on foreign molasses in the Act. As a result of the Sugar Act, the earlier clandestine trade in foreign sugar and thus much colonial maritime commerce were severely hampered. You can see the picture of their demonstration, American people. Okay, this is the poster that I get from the net. Okay, this is the figure that involved in this sugar in this act. Okay, Daniel Dulani of Maryland. So I would like to proceed to America next acts that contribute the revolution. Okay, Stamp Act 1757. Okay, Stamp Act 1756. Okay, the first tax of wide range of transaction in the colonies. Second point is the rise revenue on all colonial, commercial and legal papers, newspapers, pamphlets, playing card and etc. Okay. Thirdly, had to be inscribed on paper embossed with a government stamp. Okay. This act will usually make lots of people will disagree. Okay, as what I have made some research that if you don't have any representative in the parliament, so that it will burden you. Okay, this effect will be after this Stamp Act 1756. The effect was largely what we call it very big effect. Okay, firstly, boycott over British goods. So the people of British Empire they boycott all the goods that come from British because of they did not agree with Stamp Act. Then the second one is the establishment of Son of Liberty. In Son of Liberty is the group of people that's against this Stamp Act. Then thirdly, whoever was loyal with British, they will be harassed. So we proceed to, okay, the third one was the, we call it as Townshend Townshend Act. Townshend Act. So it was established in British Parliament 1767. Okay, this act was named after Charles Townshend, British Chancellor of Exchequer, imposed duties on British China glass, lead, in paper and tea. Okay, next we would like to go for American colonies. Uh, American colonies who did not have representative in uh, Parliament saw this act as a abuse power. Okay, because of what? If the colonies or American colonies did not have their representative in Parliament, so that they cannot do or have tax to gain the tax. Okay. Third point was for tax goods imported to the American colonies. Okay, next was okay. This is the video. Okay, video that I uh, posted, uh, search from YouTube. So there will be this video will talk briefly, okay, about the what uh, township act. Okay, so I would like to uh, pass to my friend Mas Amirul about the Boston Massacre. Thank you.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. To continue our presentation, I would like to Brother Fikri for his presentation just now. And to moving on, as like Brother Fikri mentioned just now, the declaration of the Townshend Act lead the American to boycott British goods once again. This made the King George, King of the Great Britain, feel angry with what have been done by the American people. So what did he do? Actually, the British repealed all taxes except the Tea Act, and they sent around 1,000 troops to Boston to take control of Boston and to stop the how to say the American people to boycott the goods. So they are using the, you can see in this small tiny picture, the British troop land at the Boston, and the American people feel angry with them. Okay, the arriving British troops make the tension between the American and the British become worse day after day after day. And finally, on 5 March, locals known as the Patriots mock the British Guard in front Custom House. As you can see, this is the Custom House. It's just a cartoon, but it might be the good reference to all of you. And the mock, they starting to mock this alone. Actually, there was a one British guy at there. So the British guard feel danger, and he called for the reinforcement, has been described in this poster. And after the situation became uncontrolled, as you can see, snowball, the Patriots started to throw snowball toward British Guard. And there are also some reports or claims that say they also throw stones and even oyster shell. And one of the guard accidentally shoot his rifle towards the Patriots, and causing all these British guard to shoot at the innocent civilian. And a moment later, 5 colonists were dead. And you can see their name here, just like Crisper Attox, Patrick, Samuel, Samuel Maverick, and James Caldwell. Their deaths are regarded by historians as the first fatalities in the American Revolution War. Oh yeah, for your information, why actually this guard opened his fire? One of the report says that he heard someone screaming shoot, and that's why he accidentally shoot his rifle during the chaos. So this event was called Boston Massacre, and this event make the local become more angry toward the British. And what do they respond? As you can see, anger grew up and locals started to rampage, including burning British revenue at Rhode Island. They burn out the British island, and they also start to, for those who loyal with British, he will be banned from that community. Okay, let's just like what I said just now, these they are regarded first fatalities in American Revolutionary War. Okay, moving to the next part, Boston Tea Party. This is not a party like we know. Actually, it was a political protest at Griffin's Wharf in Boston, Massachusetts. Sons of Liberty, like Sister Rafika explained just now, is a group of colonial merchants. They camouflage themselves as Native American and silently climb up British supply ship that fully loaded with tea and throw around 10,000 pounds of tea overboard. There's lots of tea. You can make tea tarik using that kind of tea. This action by the Son of Liberty caught the British government, and what did they respond? The first action that be done by the British is they use the intolerable acts to punish the colonies. They sent around 3,000 troops to occupy Boston and Massachusetts, and this occupy make the Boston and Massachusetts, were put under direct rule of Great Britain. So what happened after that? Okay, the remaining colonies feel afraid that they might be the next one to be ruled out directly by the British government. So they decide to gather at Philadelphia to make the First Continental Congress. First Continental Congress actually was a meeting delegates from 12 out of 13 British colonies that soon became the United States. It was held in 1774 at Carpenter Hall in Philadelphia. It was a response to the Intolerable Act, and this Congress actually gathered a quite famous leader in United States, such as John Adams, and who else? George Washington, and also John Jay, the U.S. Supreme Court chief. Okay, in this Congress also, they affirming loyalty to the British, means that they don't want to have a war, but they appeal British to expel all the taxes. If and also they appeal that British will withdraw the Intolerable Act. If British don't do this, they will stop importing goods to British, and they also will stop accepted the goods from the British also, and they also will have a second Continental Congress. And like what we know, British rejected the appeal. Second Congress were held, and they ordered the militias to be ready to start the War of Independence. And British Army moving to Concord. Concord is a place that colonists put their ammunition storage. And right after the British moved to Concord, they actually meet the resistance army at small town known as Lexington, and they started the fighting. The Battle of Lexington and Concord is the beginning of the American War of Independence. As you can see, this is a map from this part is Boston, and the British march until here. They meet at Lexington, and they have a not small, a quite big fight, and the British actually managed to put the resistance back to Concord. And after they arrived at Concord, the British get a heavy fight As we can see the second picture down there, the heavy fight, and they being pushed all back to the Boston. And here the rebellion army gather and seek the British army. Next part is the Congress finally decide to have a proper army, and they decide to appoint George Washington as the first commander in chief. To be on point by the Congress, um George Washington command a few several heavy fighting, such as Bunker Hill. Bunker Hill was located at this area. It was a strategic place to put a battalion of soldier here. Alright. While several heavy fighting was occurred at the Bunker Hill, the colonists actually still send the peace treaty toward the British, and with some rules and regulation. But like always, British still not accept the deal, and after a moment, actually George Washington want to storm this poor British army at here, but one of his men stopped him to do that, and he just say that, "Hey Washington, why not we just put a gun at here towards the British to scare them?" And the tactic is work, and the British ran away back to their country, and George Washington get his first victory after managed to push the British out from Boston. Alright, next one, the Declaration of Independence. Okay, Thomas Paine, he was a British immigrant. He published a pamphlet which advocated independence from Great Britain. And actually, after having a 1 year of war with British, the American people feel that they are not be able to defeat the British army, and one of the solution is to clear to vote for independence, and this issue attract the Congress, and the Congress seriously consider this idea, and they appoint Thomas Jefferson to write up the official Declaration of Independence. And after that, Congress makes several revisions to the draft, and they finally vote in favor of independence. And the United States of America was born on 4th July. Yeah. We are moving to Sister Aisha. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brother Anurshami, for your presentation just now. Okay, today I will proceed with my slides on my subtopic. Okay, first of all, I will introduce myself. My name is Siti Aishah. So today I will present the Battle of Saratoga. Let's move on with the next slide. Okay, what is Battle of Saratoga? It is known as the turning point in the Revolutionary War, and it began as a plan by the British to strategically control upstate New York, and they also tried to isolate New England from the southern colonies. In this war, there are two figures involved, which are General John Burgoyne and General Horatio Gates. Okay, exactly on October 17, the General John, with his personnel, which is 5,895 British and Haitian troops, already surrendered their arms, and this showed that the biggest victory for them. And we know that the Battle of Saratoga is actually the major one among the Revolutionary War. Okay, moving on with the next slide, which is chronology of the Battle of Saratoga. Starting from May 1776, General Burgoyne arrives in Canada with reinforcements. Okay, and expected to submit his battle plans to higher headquarters. Actually, it takes time because there are some discussion and disagreement because of the plans, and finally at 2nd March, the final battle plans approved. On 12 June, General Arthur St. Clair takes over from Gate. On 20 June, American General Schuyler takes overall control and brief subordinates on the strategy to be used in the war, on the flow of the war at that time. So at the end of June, British forces show up in the vicinity of Fort Ticonderoga. Okay, move on with the next slide. On 5th July, American forces evacuate Fort Ticonderoga, and it's quite impressive because British forces managed to take Fort Edwards and Fort George. On 15 August, British defeated during Benito Raid, which there are over 900 British casualties, and it's quite disappointed because before this they managed to overtook the Fort Edwards and Fort George. And during 17 August, the sensing impending victory, General Washington sends more troops to help and try to get the victory and try to win the war. On 19 August, General Gates takes command of American forces and they are moving forward to Venice Heights, which is near Saratoga. Okay, and at this moment, 19 September, there is Battle of Freeman's Farm, which lead to the British casualties, which is twice that of America's. And 20 September until 7 October, there are another war, which is Battle of Venice. At this time, British losses are known as 4-1 compared to the Americans. And with this point, we know that the American actually win the war, and General Burgoyne finally retreats to Saratoga. On 17 October, it is officially that General Burgoyne surrenders at Saratoga. Okay, we move on with the. I'm sorry. Okay. We move on with the next one, which is significance and effects of the Battle of Saratoga. Okay, the first one, significance. We know that it's a crucial victory for the Patriot during the American Revolution, and with this victory, it gives the Patriot a major confidence, and it boosts them to be more confident to involve in the war. And with the Battle of Saratoga, actually the American they try to persuade the French, Spanish, and Dutch to join them as an ally. Okay, after the war, they managed to win and defeat the British. Actually, they give France the confidence towards America to enter the war as an American ally, as they believe that America has this kind of potential and capability to fight with the enemy. And with this success, actually the America owe a great deal to French, as they wanted to aid in the form of financial and military assistance. And the last one, we can see that the Battle of Saratoga actually can increase Gates' popularity. As I mentioned from the previous slide just now, actually there are General Gates involved in this war, and with this kind of popularity, he thinks that he will replace George Washington place on the future. Okay, but unfortunately, the George Washington didn't pass the position, and he still won the position and remained until the end of the war, the last one. Okay, the next one. Okay, is the video of the Battle of Saratoga, and it's quite long, if I'm not mistaken, 30 minutes. And I hope you will enjoy. It will actually this video is quite detailed on the battles of Saratoga. It's from the starting one, the chronology, and until the end of the battle. So maybe I hope it will help you to understand about that. Okay, moving on with the Battle of Yorktown, as it happened on 9 October 1781. Okay, we know that when we mention This war is known as the last major land battle of American Revolutionary War, as is ending on 9 October 1781 at Yorktown, Virginia. Okay, within this war, actually it combined force of American troops and France over a British army. And at the end of the war, actually Cornwallis surrendered to George Washington as French and American forces trapped the British at the Yorktown. Okay, on October 1781, the British laid down their arms and surrendered to George Washington. And this remarked as the American Revolutionary War was virtually over and finally. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is a table that shows what is it about of Battle of Yorktown, and we can see the two colors, American colonies and British forces. Okay, the first one, names of leaders and commanders. On the side of American colonies, we have George Washington, and the other side from French, Comte de Rochambeau and Comte de Grace. And from British forces, we have Lord Charles Cornwallis. For American police, they have the strength of forces which is 20,600, and the British force have 8,980. For the number of men killed in the Battle of Yorktown, it's quite impressive because there are only 72 people that was killed. Rather than British forces, it takes quite a lot of number, which is 309. For the numbers of men wounded, it takes about 180 compared to the British forces. It takes about 326. And this is the most important and amazing and impressive point. The number of men captured for the American colonies is 0, and the British forces is quite a lot, which is 8,007 from the total number 8,980 just now. Okay, as usual, I will provide the video that shows the chronology of Battle of Yorktown, and you can see it actually takes about only 1 minute. So you can see. I hope you will understand and enjoy the video. Okay, the last one, Treaty of Paris, which is happened in 1783. Okay, when we talk about treaty, it means that the war already ended between Great Britain and United States. And the treaty was signed in Paris by representative of Great Britain, which is Richard Oswald, and also representative of the United States of America, which is Benjamin Franklin. We have John Adams and John Jay. And this treaty actually recognized American independence and established borders for the new nation. Okay, this is the timeline of the Treaty of Paris. Okay, we will start from the 15th April 1783. The Continental Congress ratified preliminary articles of peace ending, which is ending the Revolutionary War with the Great Britain. And on 3rd September, which is 1783, the Treaty of Paris was signed, and it's totally bringing the war to its final conclusion. And the last one on 14th January, which is, I'm so sorry, this is my typo, actually 1784, the Continental Congress actually ratified the Treaty of Paris in Annapolis, Maryland. Okay, moving on with the slide. Okay, I will show you the key terms of the treaty. Actually, we have 6, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, the first one, Great Britain finally gave formal recognition to its former colonies as a new and independent nation. And we know the name until now, which is United States of America. And the second one defined the US border with Great Britain granting the Northwest Territory to the United States. And the third one is they managed to secure fishing rights to the Grand Banks and other waters of the British Canadian coastline for American boats. Okay, and another 3 key terms, which is they already opened up the Mississippi River to navigation by citizens of both United States and Great Britain. And another one, they managed to resolve issue with American debts owed to British creditors If you still remember the early of presentation, if I'm not mistaken, either sister or brother already mentioned about the debts, and due to this problem, it leads to the war. And finally, they managed to resolve for that. And the last one, they provided for fair treatment of American citizens who had remained loyal to Great Britain during the war. Okay, the last one. Okay, I will show you the picture on Treaty of Paris during 1783. Actually, there are five people representative from the okay, this is the picture of Treaty of Paris being signed in Paris during 1783. Okay, and before this we have the origin and the causes. So we will move to the last part, which is the consequences. Okay, let's look at the first one. Okay, British lost his territory in the American continental. Okay, what is it about? Okay, before this, British lost his territory in American continental. Um, it's mentioned that the new state drafted its own constitution, which at the time innovation from the traditionally understand from the British constitution. So due to this, the new state constitution, actually they are based on the idea of popular sovereignty, which means that it depends on the power and authority of the government derived from the people. So that's why I mentioned just now that why the British love is very in America continental. Okay, we will move to the next point, which is the end of the mechanism. In this one, they started to develop their own industry and they didn't rely on British anymore. Fortunately, okay, why? Because before this, British Empire had imposed various restrictions on the colonial, especially in the economy, including the limiting trade, settlement, and the last one, manufacturing. So, okay, what is it about? The American finally opened new markets and new trade relationships, and the important thing is the American managed to open the West territories for invention, such as they managed to create the new domestic market in the world. And the last one, America began to create their own manufacturers. Okay, the thing I want to highlight is that they capable to be independent on themselves and without any power or without any help, they managed to succeed. That's all for me. Okay, I will pass to Edgar presenter this year.
Okay, we are going to the next consequences. This is Shea Rebellion. Okay, actually, Shea Rebellion was a series of violent attacks on courthouse and other government properties in Massachusetts that began in 1786 and led to a full-blown of military confrontation in 1787. Okay, who is the behind of this rebellion? Actually, the person who involved in this rebellion was an ex-revolutionary war. After the war, they become a farmer, and actually, they was a farmer who fought in the Revolutionary War and received a little compensation. And by the 1780s, many of them were struggling to make ends meet. Businesses in Boston and somewhere else demanded immediate payment for goods that farmers had previously bought on credit and often paid off through barter. There was no paper money in circulation and no gold or silver to be accessed by the farmer to settle this debt. And after the tension become worse and worse, so in August 1786, the farmer in western Massachusetts began to take direct action against the divorce court. Alright, the next one, the consequences of the American Revolution was the end of Native American independence. Okay, as we know, Native American participated in the revolution. Many of the Native American groups, such as Shawnee, Creek, Cherokee, and Iroquois, had sided with the British. They had hoped for a British victory that would continue to restrain their land-hungry colonial settlers from moving west beyond the Appalachian Mountain. Unfortunately, the American victory and Native American support for the British created a pretense for justifying rapid and often brutal expansion into the Western territories. So actually, after the American won the revolution, they started to expand their territory, and this expansion take over the Native American land, and Native American people will continue to be displaced and pushed farther west. Right, as we can see, they've been pushed around here throughout the 19th century. Ultimately, American independence marked the beginning of the end of what had remained the Native American independence. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so next I would like to go for consequence in American Revolution. Okay, so I would like to highlight about the Republican motherhood. Okay, what is Republican? Okay, this term actually started after Revolution as there is a civic equality in women. Okay, instead during the intermediate post-war, women were become incorporated into the policy to some degrees as Republican mother. Okay, why they call it as Republican mother? Okay. Firstly, the roles of women were to rise and educate future citizens. Okay, according to what I know, okay, mother is somehow they will raise their children, raise their help their husband to uh, have a complete family. So as that this term they wanted to have to rise and educate the future citizen of America. Okay, so the second point is this by this Republican they can open wide opportunity for women regarding education. A lot before this revolution, a lot of women will stay at home, and they did not have their own education. So they just doing the house chores and so on. So by this Republican method thinking, they would like to make women have their right to have education.
Okay, for the consequences, I will explain about the US Bill of Rights, which is the last point of these consequences. Okay, the first national elections occurred in 1789, and then, along with the presidents of Washington at the time, with the voters elected a large of number of the supporters of the Constitution. So almost half of the 91 members at the time of the first Congress had helped to write the Constitution. So this immediate issue that they bring up that the new Congress took up was how they modified the Constitution. So the crucial states at the time, which is the Massachusetts, Virginia, and New York, ultimately supported the Constitution. Next, the first Congress amended the Constitution by adding what becomes known as the Bill of the Rights. So here is the U.S. Bill of the Rights. So we have the James Madison at the time, which is he's one of the members of the Congress from Virginia. Then he took the leading role crafting proposed amendments that would be sent to the states for the approval. In the end, there are 10 amendments were ratified in 1791. So these first amendments of the Constitution to the Constitution become known as the Bills of Rights. So it stands as a bold symbol and the foundations of American ideals of individual liberty, the limited government, and the rule of law. So in the Bills of the Rights, they concern more about the legal protection for those accused for the crimes. And for example, of the right of petitions, sorry, for example, in the amendments of the Bill of Rights is they have rights and the protection in for example the rights of the petition in the Bills of Rights, which is include the freedom of speech, the protections against the double jeopardy, rights to be informed of the charges, right to trial by jury, the protection against excessive fines, and etc. In the Bill of Rights also remains active force in the contemporary American life as a major element of constitutional law. So the end. Thank you for everyone for watching this video.